So far we discussed 3 points. One is record filtering and column filtering, and third one is column mapping. So I'm going to explain each concept how we are going to implement in our test environment one by one. First, I'm going to discuss about records filtering. Record filtering means what I told was based on a specific condition, we are going to replicate. We are not going to replicate all the records present in the source database. So based on a certain condition, we are going to replicate. As I mentioned, say for example, we will specify where the salary is more than 10,000, those records only should be replicated. If the salary is not more than 10,000, those should be ignored. So how we are going to implement, I am going to explain you. Okay. So first one is I am explaining about the row filtering. So row filtering can be implemented using two ways. One is using filter class, or second one is where class. So one is a filter class or where class. So using these two options, we can implement the row filtering. And the second point is by using either a filter class or where class, we can implement. But where we are going to include this filtering, where we are going to include this filter class or where class means we can include this filter class either at extract or pump or at replicate side. So at any of these three places, you can implement filtering, means using a filter class or using where class, you can implement the filtering, and that class can be included at either extract level or at pump level or at replicate level. So far we are not we haven't implemented filtering. So what happening is that extract is reading whatever the contents available in the redo log files. So it is simply passing into the placing them either into the trail files, or it is passing to the collector on the target. And if we configure pump, means what it does is whatever it is reading from the local drives, if it matches to its table, means suppose if we configure a pump process for collecting employee related tables, employee related records, what it does is it will just collect that entire information and it will pass it. It will not do any transformations. Okay. In the similar way, in the replicator also, what happening currently is whatever it is reading from, whatever the data is available in the remote trial files, it simply applies to them. There is no transformations applied at a replication so far. But now, today, we are going to implement row filtering using filter class or where class. At extract level also I will show you a demo, and at pump level also I will show you a demo, and at replicate level also I will show. So all these places, just we will implement the filter class and where class or where class, and we will do the manipulations. Only one difference we need to know here is, while implementing row filtering at extract level or at replicate level, what is happening is that just we will add one more class in the table class or in the map class. If it is an extract, means what we used to mention, table space, the table name we used to specify, table space scott.emp, means it will cover all the information about that employee. Now, in order to implement a row level filtering, what we need to do is we need to add filter class also along with the table class in the extract file. So when you does that one, automatically what happens, extract will extract only the data specific to that condition. If the condition doesn't matches with the current record, what it does is that it simply ignores it and it will move further. Okay, whereas in the previous sessions, since there was no filtering at a row level, whatever the records it is able to see specific to that particular table, it will read those records from the extract buffer, or redo log buffer, and it will place into the local drive. But whereas when you implement the filter, what it does is it will read that records and it checks whether the condition matches or not. If the specific condition matches, then only it will extract and it will place into the local file. So this is the difference. And if you want to implement the same thing at data pump level, the same way you need to include filter clause or where clause in the table definition. In addition to that, we need to do one more changes. What we need to do is, earlier we used to specify pass through, but when you are implementing row filtering, or when you are implementing row filtering, then what you need to do is just you need to change, instead of pass through you need to specify no pass through. Okay, so that is the changes at the data pump level, if at all, if you need to implement row filtering at a data pump level. And the third one is at the extract level, means in the extract what we used to do is, suppose if I need to, there is no, in the replicate, what we used to do is, we used to specify map table name and target again table name, we used to specify. Now if I need to implement row level filtering or row level filtering using the filter class or where class, then what I have to do is I have to add filter class or where class at the end of the map class. So what happens is that in that scenario, extract will read all the data and pump will pass all the data, but replicate will not replicate all the data. What it does is it replicates only data which satisfies the condition mentioned in the map class. Okay, so this is the third scenario. So we discussed, just I given you a brief idea about how to implement at extract level, or how to implement at pump level, or how to implement at extract level, replicate level. So just let me give you one small demo on that, so that you will get a better idea. I may need to write 3 diagrams, but not a problem, I will show you. Source, target, extract, collector, remote trial files, replicate. So this is the scenario. First scenario is, I am going to implement row level filtering at extract. That means what I have to do is I need to add filter class or where class at table class in extract parameter. Okay, and no changes data pump or replicate. Are you clear? Suppose if I need to implement a row level filtering at extract level, what I have to do is I have to add filter class or where class in extract, and no changes required at pump level. Suppose if at all pump we configure, as well as no changes to the replicate. So whatever the configuration we had earlier, the same configuration will work. So in pump what we did was, we specified pass through, means whatever the data you receive it from local drive, just push it the data to that one. So that we shown earlier. So the same configuration we have to continue. And the replication also, the table class will be there. In that not table column, map class will be there. So what we need to do, just we need to keep the, we need to retain the same content, no need of any changes. Okay, so this is the way how we are going to implement using extract. Say for example, if I need to in this scenario, what happens? Extract will not extract all the data, so automatically local trial file size will be reduced in this scenario, first scenario, because it is extracting only specific data only, whatever the condition, whatever the records matches to the filter condition, those will be extracted. So in this scenario, what you can say, local trial file size will be very less as compared to other scenario. And the second scenario, row level filtering at pump level. Okay, so in this scenario, what we will do, no changes to the extract, means whatever it is able to see in the redo log files, it will fetch and it will place them into the local trial files. We will implement filter class or where class at table class in pump, and we will add no pass through. Okay, in previous sessions what we used, pass through was mentioned earlier because there was no changes, there was no filtering or there was no alteration or there was no transformation at the pump level. So what we used to mention, we used to mention pass through. Since we are doing some row level filtering over here, so we need to use no pass through. Okay, so this is not required. Okay, and third one is no changes to the extracts, no changes to the replicate. Okay, so this is about the second option. In this scenario, what happens is that extract generates as usual, but data pump sends very selective data to the target, because whatever the records is matching to the condition specified in the table clause in a data pump, those only will be sent to the replicate process. So less traffic on the network side, so less burden on the network side. And third one is, in this scenario, replicate also will receive very less data. I mean, like when we implement the filtering at the data pump level. And third one is replicate. At replicate, what happens is that no changes to extract, no changes to the pump, means in the pump we mentioned pass through, so the same will be continued. In the replicate, we will include filter class or where class at map statement. So when we implement in this at replicate level, so what happens, extract will read the redo log files as it is, and whatever the tables it's supposed to extract, it will extract and it will push into the local drives, and data pump will transfer the data from source to target, so without any transformations. At the target side, what happens, you specified filtering, so what it does is that it will select the selective data which meets the condition specified in a filter class or where class, and that those records only will be applied to the target database. So in this scenario, there is no in this scenario less data will be applied. However, pump as well as extract will generate as usual way. There is no reduction in the size of the trail files in this scenario. Only the condition is that you are going to add filtering at row level, at replicate level in map statement. Okay, so these are the three things. Now I am going to show all these scenarios in our environment, and you will have a better idea. Okay, so before that, just I would like to explain what the situation about my database. I think we already almost 3 weeks completed. So just let me explain you how my database scenario now, so that based on that we can take it forward. One second. me show you how the data currently, what is the current scenario in my PC. Okay, so I have a unidirectional replication has been configured in between source and target, and one extract and pump has been configured at the source and replicate has been configured in the target side. Okay, so I have an employee table. Let's start from employee. So I have 15 records. Let me delete this cell. Okay, so I have the table at the target, employee table, which is having 14 records. In the source also we have 14 records now. Okay, so we are good now. So I am going to implement a replication, row level filtering. For example, that records which are having salary more than 10,000, those only will be replicated to the target. If the salary is less than, not salary, even we can say employee number. If the employee number is less than 10, it will not replicate. If the employee number is more than 10 or more than 10, those records only will be replicated. So I am going to show how we are going to implement. And one more important point here is that I haven't mentioned to you how we are going to implement, why we need to have a filter clause as well as where clause. I'm going to check that point. I've gone through that, but I haven't found much information for that. But I will explain you what is the difference between filter clause as well as where clause. But for me, it looks almost similar. There are no changes with respect to filtering. Maybe there could be some minute changes, minute differences, which I'm going to explain you down the line. Now, let me show you how we are going to do that filtering. What is the condition we are going to do? See, in the table, for the filter class, table name, after that we are going to include a reservoir called filter, and we can specify on which operations the condition should be applied. But if the record is inserted, then only this condition is applied, or if in the deletion statement happened, then only the condition should occur. Like that we can specify, and we can specify which transactions also can be ignored. Okay, this is the second section. And third one is a filter clause. Filter clause means it's a simple, nothing but a way, condition we will place it. So this is the way how we are going to specify in the table using filter class. Okay, and okay, now how to specify using where clause. Where clause looks to me very easy as compared to filter clause. In the where clause, what we are going to do, just where, and we will specify the where clause, that's all. So, but we don't have much options in the where clause, but whereas in a filter I can see many options over there. But however, let me get the confirmation, let me get the correct information and I will explain you down the line. So in the where clause, what we are going to do is just we will specify the table clause as usual. That is table space start.employee, the way how we are specifying earlier. After that, we are going to specify the where clause. In the where clause, where is a keyword, and again here we are going to specify where employee number is greater than 20, employee number is greater than 30. So those that kind of conditions we will specify in the where clause, and automatically when replication is happening, extract is happening, it will consider only those records which satisfy this condition. Okay, so now let me show you how I am going to do. As I mentioned, we can implement this row level filtering either at extract level, pump level, or replicate level. First one, I am going to show you how we are going to implement using extract. Okay. extindus. So this is my what I mentioned was earlier, after table class, just put a column. You can specify where or filter. For easiness, I am specifying where EMP number greater than 20. So I added record. The condition is EMP number greater than, then only it will extract the data. Suppose if it is less than 20 means it will not at all extract. So let me show you. Since I did some changes to parameters, so I need to restart extract process in the source to take the effect. Okay, now let me come to this one. I came to database session for India, and even in the screen also you can able to identify where currently I am in. I am in India database. I connected through Scott user. Insert into insert into employee, EMP number, ename, values, EMP number, okay. Let me show you example of 21. BA commit. So I will come to the target machine. I will see whether my record reached or not. So the record reached. Now I am going to insert another record which doesn't satisfy the condition mentioned in the where clause. 19 I will mention, so return A0. So this condition doesn't meet the filter class, sorry, where class. See, that record hasn't reached over here. Now I will insert another record. 22. Okay, I inserted in the source. The record should be visible over here. So that is it. So what we did was we implemented the row level filtering at extract level. Okay, the next example I am going to show is pump level filtering. Say for example here okay. Now what I am going to do is I will add the similar kind of syntax in the pump. PMP INDUS. So what I am going to do here is I will add where EMP number greater than 20. Okay. Now the next important change over here is that earlier what I did was, since there was no transformation happening at pump level, I mentioned it as a pass through. Means whatever the data you receive, just simply pass on. So for that reason I mentioned it as a pass through. So now we are doing some implementation filtering at pump level. So we need to take out this statement. Okay, no pass through, rest everything will be same. Sorry guys. Okay, now I am going to insert another record, that is 18. I am going to insert A, J, but the same record will not be visible over here. Now I am going to add 23 over here. Let's see whether it is going to reflect or not. (23) BC. Now I will see whether that has been reflected or not. Okay, so BC record has been implemented. So means filtering at pump level also completed. Now I am going to take out this configuration and I will implement it a replication now. Edit params PMP ADS. So no pass through should be converted into pass through, and okay, so I will stop PMP INDUS, start PMP INDUS. Okay, now there is no filtering at extract level or data pump level. Now I am going to implement what you can say, filtering at replicate side. See, let's see how I am going to do. Before that, I will confirm it. Everything is working perfectly. So since there is no filtering, so I could able to see that record. Now next one is I am going to implement the filtering at replicate level. So what I am doing is I am stopping the survey replicate first. REPINDUS. Start REPINDUS. I'm inserting one record now. 24. So that record came. Okay. Now I will insert another record. I will insert another record 16 A H. So I did inserted 16 record, and now let's see whether it has been reflected or not. So it is not available. So filtering is working. So based on this, what we can conclude is that row level filtering can be implemented using filter class or where class, and this where class or filter class can be specified at primary means extract level or pump level or at the target level. Okay, so this is about it. And filtering can be implemented in two ways. So one is row level filtering, another one is target level filtering. Sorry, filtering can be implemented in two ways. One is filter class, another one is where class. So we discussed it where class. So filtering also filtering using filter class also similar to the same. Okay, let me take a 5 minutes break. I will come back shortly. So I'm stopping the record at this moment. So column level filtering, how we are going to implement here is, we are going to implement column level filtering using calls option, which we are going to implement at the source level. That what we will do is that either we will specify calls or calls accept. These are the two things which we are going to implement. Okay, with the calls, what we are going to do is we will specify the list of columns which needs to be extracted or which needs to be pushed to the target. So whatever the columns we are mentioning over here in the calls class, those columns only will be replicated, even if you are giving other information also, but the replication will not extract those columns. So calls accept is similar to the same thing, but it's opposite. So whatever the columns we are mentioning, those will be, what will happen is that those will not be considered. So except the columns, the rest of the columns will be replicated. So simply opposite of this one. Okay. So let me show you how we are going to implement it. Say for example, before that I will show you. Let me take out the row level filtering. First, let me check whether replication is happening properly or not. Then I will. Okay. So 15 and replication is happening properly without any issue. Now, I am going to insert another column also in this job. Okay, so I'm inserting record AD. Just give an example. Okay, so I inserted 14 record, so I'm able to receive this one. Now I need to implement the column level filtering. So that what happens is next time when even though if I insert job, but it should not replicate this job column in the target. So I'm going to implement using calls option in that. So how I am going to do is repeat. Sorry, EXTINDUS. Here in the table column, I am going to add that one. It params table EXTINDUS. Okay, so I need to replicate only ext. In this, I am going to specify. I am going to replicate only those two columns. Even if I give the other columns also, those will not be replicated. Let me show you that one. Stop EXTINDUS. Okay, it's running. So let me insert one more record over here. 13 A. So in the target, what we should receive employee number, employee name, but job should not be there. If you see that one here, okay, so this is the way how it is going to be. Or you can see calls except also you can implement over here. So what you can do, calls except and job excluding job means except job column, everything will be replicated. Okay, so that's about the column filtering. So we implemented it, column filtering as well as row filtering now. So next one is what is that? Column mapping. So column mapping comes into the picture when the table definition at the source as well as target machines differs. During that time, column column mapping is required because the column names are different at both the locations. So this can be implemented using DefGen utility. Till 11G DefGen utility, but somewhere I read in 12C there is a small change in DefGen. I think it's obsoleted or something like that. I heard it, but I'm not sure. Let me go through that one option also, and I will cover that point when I'm going to discuss about the 12C new features. So for time being, we will complete the mapping, column mapping using DefGen utility. Okay. Somehow I haven't made a notes out of that, but I can show you. Yeah, I have that one. Okay. So here total 3 steps are 3 or 4 will be there. Yeah, 4 steps are there. So let me explain you how we are going to do. First, we are going to create one definitions file, defgen parameter file we are going to create. So how we are going to do edit params defgen. Earlier we used to say edit params extract name or replicate name or pump name we used to specify. Here we are using edit params that defgen we are using over here. So in that what we are going to specify is for whatever the tables we need to extract, we will specify the file name where the column definition should be placed. So this is the location and defs file is the keyword. So what we are going to do is the defs file and the file location and user ID and password and tables and what are the tables we need. Suppose if we have more than one table, we can specify all those tables information so that all those table definitions will be placed into this India underscore IMP defs file. Okay. So once this is parameter file has been created, now what we are going to do is that just we are going to create the file. In this step, just we prepared the parameter file, but we haven't generated the file. But in the second step, what we are doing is we are generating the definition file. How we are doing? So when you give this command edit params parameter defgen, automatically one parameter file will be created with defgen.prm file in dir prm location. So with that, what we are going to do is just we are going to generate the definitions file. Defgen is a utility and parameter file where the parameter file is. So dir prm and defgen prm. So this file we created just in the first step. So when we give this one, automatically it will create the definition generated for one table in this location. So this location, how file got created over here, we specified in the parameter file where the file should be created. So based on that input, see here we specified defs file should be created in this location, like that we specified in defgen parameter file. So when we created the defgen, automatically based on these inputs, the parameter column definitions will be would be created. Okay, that is about the second step. Third step is we need to transfer this file, whatever the data definitions file we created in the second step, that file has to be shipped to the target machine. Okay, so I did, I transferred that file to the target machine. Fourth one is we need to implement this replication at the target machine. Column mapping should be implemented at the target machine. So what I'm going to do is here, two changes I have to do. One is what is the source tables information. So that is source defs and that file name. So whatever I copied in the third step, that file name I have to refer over here. I have to specify over here. So when when replicate is going to happen, this file will be used during that time. And the second one is that I need to add a column map option here. Column map use default job underscore new. I am going to explain this one. And this is the thing. And next one is we need to start the services. Automatically column mapping will takes place. So let's take an example here. Let's create environment for our column mapping. Employee table is having the same names as in source machine. Okay, employee number, employee name, job, MGR, hire date, sal, com, everything is same. So what I am going to do is that job underscore new, I am going to change this column name to job underscore new, and we will replicate, we will implement the column mapping on these two tables. Alter table, employee, rename column, job to job underscore new. Okay, now it is there. Here job is there, job underscore new is there. Okay, so this is the difference. Now I am going to implement this one using defgen utility. Let me show you. First I need to stop all the processes over here, and I need to stop the processes over here. So this is a quite common request in your companies, most probably when there is a change in the table structures. In my company it's quite common, almost every 15 days or every month, once in a month, there could be some changes in the tables or there could be some additions in the table. So we used to implement this one. As I mentioned in the document, first one is I need to generate the definition file. First, let me delete those previous files also. Vemula Vishal, are you on the call? I think somebody just left from the web session. Oh, okay, fine. So, okay. So now what I am doing is, first one is I am creating the parameter file in the source. ggsa db login gg user id gg user. Now edit params def gen. Okay, in this I am going to specify defs file. I am going to specify where my definitions file has to be created. So this is the location I am going to specify. Next one, I am specifying the database connection details. So I have specified it. Third one is what are the tables it has to cover, definitions. Okay. So definition file has been created. So when you see parameter file in the dir PRM, you will see defgen file has been created. Okay. Now what I am going to do is using defgen utility. If you see this file defgen utility, by using this utility you are going to create the parameter file. The syntax here is simple: defgen utility space param file where it is located dir prm slash this file. Okay, so with this what it is going to do, in this file we specified where the definition file has to be created. So based on that it is going to create. Okay, so in my parameter file I specified a location definition file as this one. So file has been created, definitions generated for one table at this location. This location is nothing but this location. Okay, so if def India_emp.defs. So the file has been created just now. Okay. Now the next step is I have to transfer this file to the target. So what I'm going to do here is, so dir defgen is empty, scp minus p oracle at gghost01 colon. The file has been created in this location on the first node, start to here. Okay, so one file has been moved from there to here, india underscore emp.defs. Okay, so this is done. Now the next step is, so the file has been moved. Now we need to specify we need to change the commands in the replicate so that column mapping will take place. In the column mapping, two things we need to specify. One is where the definition file is located, and second one is call map clause in the map statement or map clause, we can say. Okay, so first we will verify the file is available or not. So file is available, and second one is column map command. I will explain you what is the way how I am creating. So employee, this is the source schema. This is the source, and this is the target. And call map, use defaults means whatever the names matching, you use those one. After that, job name new, this is the target name, equal to the source column name is job. So map this column with source this name. So this is the condition which we given over here. So here I am going to add this detail source devs. I am going to specify, because you need to specify where the definition file exists. And the next one is, important thing is that earlier when table definitions are same at both the places like source and target, we used to specify assume target defs. Now I need to comment out that one. Third one change is in the map class, I need to define a mapping, comma, call map, use defaults. So whatever the column names matches, use them as it is. And the next one, or the difference is, the new column name is job underscore new. Map that job underscore new with job column in the source. So this is the only clause we need to add. Once this is done, what we need to do is, once the parameters are changed, we need to restart replicate rmpindus. Start rmpindus. Okay, so I started all the services. It's running. The target also, let me see. Okay. Now I am going to insert a record over here. 12 AD AB job is ABA. Commit. So here that record should have come over here. Okay, so here if you see, the record came but the value hasn't appeared. Why? Can you tell me, Amir, why? Or funny? Hello, Amir? Hello, Amir or funny? Hello, anybody is on the call? No, not because of the column difference. Amir, I think I'm not able to hear your voice, but I will tell you. In the previous session, what we did was column filtering we did, but we haven't take out that column filtering. Because of that, job name was not included in the filtering. Sorry, job name was included in the filtering. So because of that, job name was not sent to replicate side. So let me take out that column. View params. See, we included only these two columns. So job was not included. Because of that, that hasn't come. Okay. Now, let me insert one more record. So, now the record has been replicated to the target. So, this is all about the column filtering, sorry, column mapping. So, in this way, the way how you want, you can remap those columns. Who joined just now? Hello?
Hey, that was me. Sorry, I dropped my call.
Is it Amit?
Yeah, sorry, I dropped my call. I just joined again. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so yeah, just now I shown that example. Now we are able to replicate the all the columns. Okay, so that's all about the column mapping. So there are few important points which we need to know over here is that this column mapping or column filtering is possible only in unidirectional replication. This is not possible in bidirectional replication. Okay, so column filtering or row filtering or what you can say column mapping, not column mapping, row filtering or column filtering is possible only with unidirectional replication, but not possible with the bidirectional replication. Okay, so that's the one point which I need to tell you. So with this we are good with we completed all the topics specific to